Keeping up to date with Major League Lacrosse and your favorite team has never been easier. Get all the latest news, highlights, and scores right to your smartphone with the new apps powered by Sports Authority. Download yours today.
Hi there, I'm Chantel McCabe with the Major League Lacrosse News Update. Major League Lacrosse and ESPN have announced the network schedule of MLL broadcasts for the 2012 season. 6 Major League Lacrosse games will air live on ESPN2 this summer. The schedule includes the 2012 MLL All-Star Game, as well as the first semifinal and championship game at the MLL Championship Weekend in August. Joining me now from Baltimore is Quint Kesnich, who will serve again as the analyst for Major League Lacrosse on ESPN. Quint, what are your thoughts on the schedule for this season?
Thanks, Chantel. Let's start things off with the All-Star Game on June 30th, a celebration of the game of lacrosse, bringing together the best players on the planet. It's always high scoring, it's always action-packed and creative. What I love also is halftime. Get to see the freestyle and fastest shot competition. Our regular season coverage then moves to July 7th, Rochester at Long Island. The Rattlers, head coach Tim Sudan, did a wonderful job in the collegiate draft. They'll be led by Ned Crotty of Duke. Meanwhile, Long Island, kind of a rebuilding year. You're going to see a lot of new faces for the Long Island Lizards. One guy that I'm excited to watch play this year's #1 draft pick, Rob Pennell of Cornell. July 14th, Charlotte at Denver. This is our first look at the expansion Charlotte Hounds. Head coach Mike Serino did a wonderful job in the expansion and supplemental drafts. Charlotte's attack: Matt Danowski, Jeremy Boltis, who was Rookie of the Year last year, and Billy Bitter, former star at North Carolina. Meanwhile, Denver, again, kind of a rebuilding year for Denver. You lose Max Seaball to Long Island. I think 2 constants for that franchise will be Brendan Mundorf at attack and Jesse Schwartzman in the goal. July 28th, Chesapeake at Boston. 2 franchises who have the ultimate goal in mind, and that's the Steinfeld Cup. Winners: Chesapeake in 2010, Boston in 2011. Chesapeake's led by great midfield play: Kyle Dixon, Ben Hunt, Stephen Brooks, Michael Kimmel. Boston, of course, brings back league MVP Paul Rabel. And then we'll take a little break for a month. We come back for the MLL playoffs. Saturday, semifinal #1 on August 25th from Boston. Historically, the semifinals have been the best games of the year. We'll come back the next day for the championship game on Sunday, August 26th, the final. Right now, I see Boston, Hamilton, and Chesapeake vying for the title role, with some other teams kind of in the second tier: Charlotte, Rochester, and Denver, second tier. I got Long Island and Ohio in that third tier. And when I think about championship games, I go back to year 1 and the great performance that Paul Gate put on. The 2003 championship game, maybe the best championship game in history, Long Island winning in overtime. 05, Baltimore, what can you say? Probably the most dominant team ever. And our last 2 title games, you had Chesapeake winning in 2010 behind a really gritty defensive effort. Chris Carity and Kyle Hartzell on the defensive end. And last year, Boston, 2011, winning their first ever Steinfeld Cup. That's just a brief look at some of the coverage you'll see this year on ESPN.
Thanks, Quint. In addition to the 6 MLL games that will air live on ESPN2, you can catch Major League Lacrosse games online all season long on ESPN3. For the complete MLL broadcast schedule, you can visit MajorLeagueLacrosse.com. I'm Chantel McCabe, and this has been an MLL News Update.